Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff, and you are here with me in the Schwa the Schwa Oh my gosh, the Schwa where we try and craft your accent. We're going to be taking a look at your American English and giving suggestions for how to get it to sound more natural. Okay. To do that, you will see at the top of the chat, but also in the video description, you'll see a place where you can add in your own pronunciation files. I will show you that in a moment. Just want to check my audio. Yes, we're good. Okay. So let me share my screen so that way you guys know what I am talking about. So that way we can listen to you and give you some suggestions. And by the way, we use this same file every single week. Okay, so what you're going to see is once you're here, you're going to see that this is the document where some people have already input their names and they've sent me some pronunciation files. How do you get this file? Well, what you need to do is you need to go to the top right here where it says directions, and you can choose vocaroo.com, and that will give you everything you need to record yourself. You post the link here, and that way we will be able to not only basically see your file, but we'll be able to hear it too. I'll share my audio so that way we can all go through this together. And by the way, we use this link every single week. So again, favorite it, bookmark it, so that way the next time we do our live stream, which is every Saturday, right at this time, 1:30 p.m. New York time, East Coast, EST. Every Saturday we do this, and that way you will be able to input your audio next time. Yep. So pretty simple. At least that's the goal. We're trying to keep it easy for everybody. Let me know what's happening this weekend. What is everyone doing this weekend? I right now am home alone because my wife and my son went to Denver, which is a city in the Rocky Mountains, which are the tallest mountains out west in the United States. Great for skiing. I think they're actually technically taller than like the Alps in Europe. But the problem is that also just the land is also higher too. So it's they don't necessarily always look taller than what you see in the Alps, but they think they're technically taller. Anyways, we'll say some quick hellos to people. Emmanuel's checking in, and he's also letting me know, oh no, first lines of the sheet were protected. Yes, I did know that, and I'd noticed it. I caught it too late. I did modify it, so I think it's working now. But you guys can always let me know in the stream. Hello also to Shok. And by the way, if you are joining us for the very first time, welcome. Could you let me know? Could you just say, hey? You don't have to say anything for the rest of the chat, but I'd just like to know if you're here. And if you've been here for 100 streams, you could also let us know that too. It'd be great to hear from you. Just say hello. Okay. Now, again, we've shifted our format, so I don't actually know the sentences and phrases that people will be sending me. Okay, we'll just kind of be listening to different sentences, things that people are using in their daily life. Or I've also included a link to, in case you're not sure what to say, I've posted a link to some idioms and collocations that you can use as well in case you get stuck. Okay. Hello also to Rumeza checking in. That's great. Great to see you. All right. Let's get started, right? So again, what's going to happen? We will listen to your files. I'll give some suggestions. We'll move on. Pretty straightforward, right? So let's get right into it. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? Now, normally that's my time to put on my headphones, but I've actually had them on this entire time, so it keeps it pretty simple, right? A couple other people checked in. So Beta is here. Hello to Z. And Mimo is back. Hello. Excited to hear your audio files. I think everyone here has already sent me files. Okay. Oh no, Rumez is giving us a teaser for her sentence. It's a sentence I use a lot this year. Hopefully, won't be using it this year too much. Yeah, I listened to it. I was like, oh snap, we have some attitude things. So I'm going to one thing that I can already tell you, Rumeza, is that when I listen to yours, I think we can add some extra emotion because if you're saying this sentence and you were as frustrated as I believe you were, we want to make that frustration really come out because right now it sounds a little bit flat. And I want to give you some spunk. I want to give you some attitude that you can add to what you say to give you more of that natural feel. Okay. But let me share my screen and my audio so you guys can see what I see and hear what I hear. Okay, let me push myself over here. Okay, so again, this is our our document for files. I already have everyone loaded right now. There is still plenty of time. We should be able to get through all of these before the end of the stream. So if you're joining us and you want to get your own pronunciation analyzed, there's still time. Send us a file. I'm just going to pick some at random and kind of see. Let's hear our first one.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then they talk about being courteous.
Oh, wow. That works out for Rumeza pretty good. Not frustrated anymore, Rumeza notes. It's funny now. Okay. That's good.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then they talk about being courteous.
Okay. But so I certainly appreciate that. I'm glad you're not frustrated anymore. First and foremost, that's really important. So I'm glad to hear that. But I do think I do think if you're saying a sentence like this, that there are some techniques that I think will be helpful to consider. So here's our sentence. And then though I would also add a word to this. Let me re-put it. And then I would add a second they. Honestly, and that's going to have a pretty big impact, for instance, for the stressing I'm going to show you. But let's listen to what you're doing. Oh no, I lost it. Oh, which one? I always do that. I think it's this one.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then
They don't even say good morning to us. They don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us.
Emmanuel is asking wants some insights into the situations. Okay. Oh, and then she said she has it. Okay. Remains, if you want to give us some more details about the situation, cool. But if you don't want to, I understand that as well.
They don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us. So I like this first half. They don't even say good morning to us. They don't even say good morning to us. I like that intonation starting, or like even just like the pitches starting really high. They don't even say good morning to us. It's like then kind of rising at the end. That's great. Duh, duh. Okay.
They don't even say good morning to us.
Another option that you could do with this too. They don't even say good morning to us. I would maybe consider stressing morning. Don't even say good morning to us. Don't even say good morning to us. Like if I were saying it, that's how I would do it. They don't even say good morning to us. Because I'm trying to make this sound as ridiculous as possible.
They don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us. They don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us. I think you are stressing morning, but I would amplify that. Give me more attitude. Give me some spunk. This is a sentence with spunk. I want more of that to come out.
They don't even say good morning to us.
Because right now, just in terms of pitches, your highest pitch is they.
And then they don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us. You know, so it's not going to convey the emotion as strongly by having they as your highest pitch. They don't even say good morning to us.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then they talk about being courteous.
And then, so you're right. Yeah, you do say they in the sentence. This wasn't. Okay. Great.
To us, and then they talk about being courteous.
And then they talk about being courteous. You know, I would stress that second they. They don't even say good morning to us. And then they talk about being courteous. Or you could also have rising intonation. They don't even say good morning to us. And then they talk about being courteous. So, you know, you could have two stresses. They don't even say good morning to us. And then they talk about being courteous. You could do it like that. Or you could also add a third stress on the courteous. They don't even say good morning to us. And then what's the rest of the sentence? I'm losing myself. And then they don't even say good morning to us. And then they talk about being courteous. You know, so it's something like that. You raising those pitches a little bit on those other stresses and things, that's just going to add a little bit more attitude, add a little bit more frustration. Because right now this is slightly frustrated, but a little neutral. And I'd like you to, let's exaggerate. Let's play with that. Let's become actors a little bit. Because otherwise it's going to sound a little bit too neutral. Okay. A quick hello to Dustin checking in. And Ali is here as well. Ali, sorry about Nightbot. Nightbot, he's misbehaving a little bit. He gets a little nervous about things. I'm sorry about that. Besides those stress things, so I hope that's helpful, but let's talk about some of the other things I'm hearing.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then they don't even say good morning to us.
You know, in terms of pronunciation, I think those are okay. I'm not hearing anything major here.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then they talk about being courteous.
And they talk about being courteous. Yeah, it sounds pretty clear.
To us, and then they talk about being courteous.
I like that little kind of like laughing and they and then they talk about like it's just to make it sound even more ridiculous. I like that little touch.
To us, and then they talk about being courteous.
I might be being a little bit nitpicky here, so take this with a grain of salt. You don't have to listen. But I do think if there's any word or sound here that just kind of continue paying attention to, I would maybe think courteous, the curse. So.
Talk about being courteous.
Courteous. Can you just like a touch? You want to say a touch? I mean like a touch. Just a touch more air through on that R. Cur. Say that like 3 times to yourself, just like cur. Courteous.
They talk about being courteous.
That's very minor. I like a lot of these sounds. This sounds really open. It sounds really low. Lots of breaths coming through.
They don't even say good morning to us, and then they talk about being courteous.
Maybe on morning.
They don't even say good morning to us.
No, it might be. I think it's fine. Yeah, but in general, I like the sound. So I would like to see you just kind of playing around pitches a little bit more, playing around some of those stresses, just to add some extra emotion. Okay. I think your clarity and things are, I think, already there. So now I really want you to be focusing on, let's get more of that natural feel, not in terms of placement and like openness, but in terms of, pitch and trying to add some of those little nuances that native speakers are doing. Okay. Just to make it a little bit more dynamic. Okay. But I think that's a great first audio. Remains, if anything there is not clear, be sure to let me know. But thank you for sending that. I do appreciate it. Can't do this without you guys. Meza understands the assignments. That's great. Let's see who's next. I'm gonna drop all the way. Ooh, this one's really long. I'm gonna drop right before that. Let's see what we got here.
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Can't break an omelet without breaking some eggs.
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Good expression. Relatively common one. The thing I'm going to tell you is right now, this is sounding very robotic in terms of the pitches that you're using. So we're going to be focusing on how to make it sound a little bit more dynamic, okay, a little bit more natural. And I think a lot of this is going to have to do with pitch.
You can't make an omelet.
You can't make an. That part right there is so you're kind of giving me like the same pitch over and over again, just kind of like like so let's try to make this a little bit more dynamic. Okay, I'll show you how.
You can't make an omelet.
Can't make. So right now, can't and make have the same pitch. Can't make. In general, English really doesn't like that. English does not like it in general when you have 2 words, one right after the other, that are at the same pitch. So how can we adjust that?
You can't make an omelet. You can't make an.
You can't make. So pick a stress. Most likely it's going to be can't, because it'll sound a bit weird to say can't make an omelet. You can't make an omelet. You can't make an omelet. You can't make an omelet. So like notice that you can't. Notice that right is there, right? You can't. And then we're going to drop again. Make an omelet. You can't make an omelet. Can you do like that? Can't, and then down. Can't make an omelet. Can't make an omelet. You can't make an omelet. Okay. Compare that again to what we have here.
You can't make an omelet.
Okay, do you hear the difference? Okay, so I'd really like to play around with the pitches there. Okay. And there's other ways you can do that too. You can play around with omelet a little bit. Okay.
You can't make an omelet.
You can't make an omelet. Or you can use the rising intonation. Like you can't make an omelet. You can't make an omelet. Notice now I've changed it. I've now put the heaviest stress on. You can put the heaviest stress on omelet if you want, or you can put it on can't. You can't make an omelet, or you can't make an omelet. Either one of those, I think, would be your most common patterns. I would pick one. Okay. And notice the difference. Omelet, if you stress omelet, it'll sound like omelet with a rising intonation at the end is possible. Okay. Omelet. Or again, if you stress can't, it'll be can't make an omelet.
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Really quick on omelet too.
You can't make an omelet.
Omelette. You're almost giving me like 3 syllables, like omelette, omelette.
Omelette.
Back it up more.
Make an omelette.
Omelette, omelette. Okay, it's very slight, but that second syllable, let's take that off completely and just go omelette, 2 syllables. Omelette, omelette, omelette. Okay. Ah sound followed by a short I sound. Lit, like I lit the light. Okay.
Make an omelette without breaking some eggs.
And that last part,
Omelette without breaking some eggs.
without breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs,
Without breaking some eggs.
breaking some eggs. Again, we're getting into that pitch area where everything's kind of, you just like hit me, breaking some eggs versus breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs. I would really, some should have a noticeably lower pitch. You want to make sure some is staying down. Breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs. Okay. Notice that too, that M on some is probably going to link onto eggs, some eggs, some eggs. I'll just practice saying that. Some eggs, some eggs, some eggs.
Breaking some eggs.
Because right now it's very detached, right? Breaking some eggs. You have syllables that are da 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 da. So everything's really choppy. Your consonant sounds are really strong. So let's weaken the consonants. Let's strengthen the vowels. And that's going to allow you to kind of flow more and connect everything. Breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs. A challenge for you. And this isn't necessarily how people talk, but I think it's going to get you closer to what you hear in American English. Is let's keep the tip of our tongue down against the bottom of our mouth. Can you say breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs? I also want you to try doing that without your lips touching. Breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs. That's really hard, right? But the reason I want you to try practicing that is because what it's going to do is it's going to help you try to link your sounds together a little bit more, because it's going to put more emphasis on your vowels, because you can't make the consonants. Your tongue's not doing the work and your lips aren't touching. So it has your vowels have to run together more. Right now, your clarity is great. I can hear every single syllable you're saying. But most likely, if you're watching a stream like this, you don't just want to sound clear. You want to sound natural. And there's a difference. Because if your goal is to just sound clear and understandable, you don't need to watch this stream. You can turn off. You don't need to submit any more audio files because you're already there. I understand everything you're saying. But if you're going for a more natural sound, then we need to strengthen these vowels and we need to weaken some of these consonants.
Without breaking some eggs.
Breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs. Okay. Breaking some. I would practice that. Breaking some, weakening that NG and linking to that S. Breaking some, breaking some. You know, it's not breaking some, we're breaking some. And then some eggs, some eggs, some eggs. Breaking some eggs, breaking some eggs. You have some choices here on stress as well.
Omelette without breaking some eggs. Can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs.
Without breaking some eggs. You could stress without. Okay. You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So you could do that. Certainly possible. Another way that you could do this.
Without breaking some eggs.
Without breaking some eggs. You could also stress eggs. Let that be your only stress. Without breaking some eggs. Can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. That's probably like the most standard way of pronouncing this phrase. That stress on omelet, stress on eggs. Can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Okay, so those would be the choices there. Consider everything I mentioned about linking sounds together, making your vowels stronger, and pitches. I think these things are all going to be key to achieving a more natural sound for this sentence. Okay, if anything there doesn't make sense, be sure to let me know. If you're watching on the replay, you could leave a comment. If you're in the chat box, don't hide. Say hello. Thank you for sending your file. We appreciate it. Okay. Great. But again, thank you. I can't do this without you guys. Okay, so really quick, I know that a couple questions came in. Okay.
Question.
Close equals close. Close. Yep. 100%. That's pretty easy. Next one. Why do you say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or like good morning, good afternoon, good evening? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. That's a really great question. There's probably like some subconscious things going on, but the reason that jumps out to me the most is that sound, acoustics, aesthetics. You know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That to me is a lot choppier. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, especially because afternoon has those 3 syllables, right? Afternoon. Okay. Whereas morning, 2 syllables. Evening, 2 syllables. If you say evening, by the way, usually that second syllable gets chopped. It's evening, most likely. Okay. So good morning, good evening kind of flow together more naturally, in my opinion, than saying good morning, good afternoon. Okay. Good morning, good evening. Notice that the pattern is the same. Good morning, good evening. But afternoon breaks that. Okay, so that's why I typically put evening last. I think in terms of sound, it's a little bit smoother. Hopefully that makes sense. That's my that's my reasoning. What do you guys think? Next one here from Heba. By the way, Heba, I don't recognize you in the stream, so it's great to see you. If this is your first live stream, let me know. But if you've been in here in the past, you're a lurker. You're here just kind of playing on the sidelines. Let me know. But it's great to see you. By the way, if you're also another lurker, you haven't said hello ever to me, try to say hi. Can we pronounce mouths like mouse? You cannot. Those are two different words. Great question. That THS, I have a video on THS. I would encourage you to check out. If you type in THS, if you go to my channel and you search THS, you will find it. Or if you pronounce how to pronounce TH, you'll see it. But that THS sound is like. I don't know if you can hear that, but you start off with a TH. And how do you make a TH? If you're putting your tongue in between your teeth for a TH sound, if you're like, that's really hard to do, right? That's so much work. Why are you sticking your tongue so far out? That's so much work. Like, it's okay, but I want to make your life easier, not harder. So if you're doing that TH, don't stick your tongue out so far. Just make some light contact with your top front tooth. And when I say light, I mean light. The TH is not a sound you want to make a lot of contact. You don't want to press hard. Otherwise, it's going to get like it's going to sound like static. Okay. What you want to do is just light contact with your top front tooth. Okay. It's like, don't block the air. Keep the air going. Okay. Air should always be flowing. Do the TH first. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to slide your tongue up. Just slide along the back of your top front tooth. Just like, I'm not sure if you guys can hear that in the microphone, my trusty microphone here. Okay. But there's this moment where it transitions from that TH to the S. It's like, okay. And you have to do that. Okay. Mouse doesn't have that TH. It just goes right to the S. It's like ow versus ow. Okay. Consonant clusters are very tricky. In English, you can have 3, 4, sometimes 5 consonants that all join together without a vowel sound appearing in between it. Okay. One example, strengthened. So that's almost a sound like an NG, then a TH, then an N, then a D sound, strengthened, and like things like that. Okay, so pay attention to that. Be careful. Mouths and mouse are not the same. Okay. Manuel mentions, remember stressing omelet. Yeah, I actually forgot. Yeah, you're right. I totally remember hearing your voice say that phrase. That's great. Thank you. Great explanation. Perfect. Glad that makes sense. I wasn't sure if that made sense to me, so I'm glad that made sense to some of you. Manuel liking. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. A lurker. For a live stream, a lurker is someone who kind of like stays like in the back. They don't say anything. They're watching, but they're not like being like an active participant. They're just kind of there. Okay. Trying to get all the advantage of the live stream without saying hello. How rude. I'm just kidding. If you want to be a lurker, that's cool. But it would be nice if you said hello. I would like to say hey. Oh wow. C'è bene, ciao. Che dici, eh? Tutto bene? Raccontami qualcosa di bello, And what's the difference between clean and cleanse? Clean is a verb or an adjective. A cleanse is a noun. A lot of times cleanse is used as a like a diet. Like I can't even think of a great example right now. I would say, and this is true for any word that you're studying, but I would say, hey, find 5 example sentences from native speakers for any word that you're studying. So I would try to find 5 example sentences using the word cleanse. I'll try to find another 5 sentences for clean and compare them. But yeah, cleanse in general is going to be like a noun type of diet. Clean, adjective or verb. Hope that makes sense. Oh my gosh. Guys, clap it up for Denny, who he's done. He passed his test. He's out of school. Congratulations, man. Welcome to the real world. It only gets better. The real world's not so horrible, but yeah, that's great. Congratulations, man. What's the next step once you're done celebrating? What happens now? Okay. All right, by the way, guys, if you've been enjoying the stream so far and you want to help me out, a couple things to consider. Like, take the poll, say hello, all those things. Going to take a quick water break. Gotta stay hydrated. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. Okay. We got some congrats and things. Cool. All right. This is the one we just did, right? And donate. You want to help the stream? Yeah, you really want to help the stream? Donate. Yeah.
You can't make an omelet.
Yeah, so that's one we talked about. Cool. All right, let's take a look. I am Mr. Go Big or Go Home. I am not above accepting them. Thank you. I appreciate the thought. But even just having you guys here is super helpful.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Emmanuel, what am I going to tell you? Listen to this again. What? This is the challenge, everyone in the chat. What am I going to tell Emmanuel? I think you guys will know. What am I going to tell him?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Play it one more time. Give people some time.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
There is one vowel sound in particular. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. What am I going to tell Emmanuel?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Okay, Emmanuel. It's all about that A sound, man. Can you say A for me? Can you do it like 3 times? Just imagine it's you and me right now. It's just me talking to Emmanuel. Can you say A 3 times? A. Okay, let's get everyone involved now. This is a vowel sound. I feel like every time I work with a new student, no matter what the language background is, this is a vowel sound that we always need to spend time on, because what a lot of people are doing with the A sound is they are doing a sound like A. Okay. And what's happening is we're really tensing, especially at the very end of the vowel. Okay, so we get like A versus A. Can you cut that vowel in half and just see what you're left with? A. Okay. In fact, this is the first letter of the alphabet. Okay. It's like A, the letter A. Okay. At least the American English alphabet. It's not A. It's A. So cut that off a little bit. Okay. A. Okay. And a lot of times too, we need to be careful because, okay, so maybe we're pronouncing that vowel great, but then when we try to put it in words, it changes. So for instance, if you could feel like A is okay, try adding that D into it. Can you try saying, excuse me really quick. Can you try saying day? Can you do like 3 times? Can you do this progression? A, day, A, day, A, day. And then if that feels comfortable, then I say, okay, let's try to speed it up. Okay, say as fast as you can. A, day, day, day. Okay. By the way, if you're practicing this at home with me, do that yourself. And my question for you is, are you saying a day, a day, or are you saying a day, a day, a day? And if you find out you're doing that, then that's a sign that your sounds are a little bit too choppy, and your consonants might be a little bit too strong. Okay. Weaken that D sound. American English loves vowels. Consonants, they're okay, but vowels, yeah, we love them. Okay. So try to weaken that D. You know, I'm not even really making contact with the top of my mouth. Okay, letting the middle and the back of my tongue do a lot of that work. Okay, so I would really say take a look at that. Okay. We hear that in day, and we also hear that
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
away. Can you say way, away? This is probably a slightly easier word to say than. Actually, no, day also.
An apple a day
Way, but the W sound, because it has a lot more breaths coming through, might be a little easier. Can you say way, away? Just that progression. Way, away, way, away, way, away. And try to get it flowing from one to the other. And try to make sure your breath's not stopping. Way, away, way, way, away. Doing that progression, okay? So check that. Make sure you're not doing away versus away. Okay, I didn't notice it as much for away, but something that helps is the fact that it's this last word, it's not heavily stressed, so you can kind of hide it to a degree. I'll take a moment just to thank Mr. Go Big or Go Home as well. I appreciate that sticker as well. Okay. Besides that, though, so we talked about A sounds, gave you some exercises.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
I know Mimo mentioned something about intonation here.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
I think the intonation pattern, I'm okay. I think this is a normal pattern for what you'll hear for this sentence. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. This is a phrase, a super common phrase. It has kind of a sing-songy pattern to it. Da-da-da-da-da, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So it's in terms of intonation, I think this is relatively typical to what you would hear native speakers using for it. The A sound is definitely the thing that jumps out to me the most.
An apple a day keeps.
Watch out a little bit for apple.
An apple.
Apple versus apple. So it's not an apple, an apple.
An apple.
I'm wondering if that N and linking that N from an onto apple, if that's partly causing that tenseness on the apple and that Can you just say apple and then say an apple? Apple and apple, apple and apple, apple and apple. And are you saying, dude, when you say apple by itself, does that sound different than when you say an apple? Okay, so just kind of check yourself. I would record yourself just for comparison's sake. So watch out for that.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
So when you're a doctor?
Keeps the doctor.
Doctor. You're kind of reducing that ah sound, right?
A day keeps the doctor.
Keeps the doctor versus keeps the doctor. So watch out a little bit again for that ah sound on doctor as well. Okay, so a couple of vowel sound things here. If you only have time to study one of them this week, definitely the A sound. Definitely the A sound. Okay. But in general, aside from those things, in terms of like breath, again, the pattern you're using for the rhythm of the sentence, I think those things sound good. Just focus on some of those vowels. Okay. Man, if you have any questions for me about any of those, let me know. But I appreciate it. Up with the stickers, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. So kind. Such an giving mood. I appreciate that. I know I missed some things. Oh, Emmanuel has questions about his pitches. Let's check pitches.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
I'm okay with the pitches. This is pretty dynamic. The contrast between the sounds is very clear. I know in a long time you've changed so much, Emmanuel. You've grown up so fast. I know in the past that some of our contrast and the times in the past was kind of missing, but I'm not getting that so much anymore. Okay. Dustin, tell me more about peaches. Do you want me to say peaches? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. Oh, I know that Ahmad asked a question. I mean, Ahmad, I'm sorry for mispronouncing that. Thanks for this great show. Thank you. Those very kind words. You were gonna give someone a cheat code. Ooh, a cheat code to English. Are you like one of those people you play like Call of Duty or something? You turn on the cheats. So you're one of those people. What if I sound like a native? What would it be? Great question. So if we're trying to sound like a native speaker, let's get another call out to Mr. Go Big Go Home. So generous. Thank you so much. And also Nameless and Faceless is here. Great to see you again. But what if I sound like a native speaker? I mean, The advice is simple in theory, but it's obviously much harder to apply in practice. The two key things that you need to sound more like a native speaker in American English, in my opinion, are if you can project sounds from a lower position in your throat, and if you can get more breath through your throat. If you are able to do those two things consistently, you will automatically sound more natural. Okay. In general, speakers in American English have a lower pitch than people in your first language probably do. And they also have more breath coming through the throat. Now, they may close things off in the mouth, but in terms of the throat, we're super, super open. Okay. To give you an example, ask yourself when you're thinking. So, I'm going to assume, and this may be incorrect, so feel free to correct me. I make mistakes all the time. I'm going to assume your first language is Arabic. So I would ask you, in your first language, whether it's Arabic or not, what sound do you make when you're thinking? Like when you're talking in your first language and you're not sure what you're going to say next, what sound do you make? Okay. Are you making it sound like ah, like like things like that? Okay. Contrast that with the sounds that people make in American English when they're thinking. In American English, you're more likely to do like like things like that. Okay. Again, a lot of other languages doing like ah or like tipo, like things like that, versus a lot lower, right? A lot more open. Okay. Another example, a lot of languages have like an E sound, right? Like E. You know, a lot of languages are doing some form of that for the E sound. Whereas in American English, you're going to hear E. Okay, another example, the ah sound. Most languages have an ah sound. But a lot of languages, when they're making that, they're doing like ah, kind of sounds like that. Versus American English, again, more ah. And one last example, the oo sound. Most languages have an oo sound. What do they sound like though? A lot of times like ooh, or like ooh, or like ooh, versus American English more and things like that. Okay, so again, just by automatically pushing things lower and opening up your throat more for more breath, automatically getting a more natural sound. So those would be my cheat codes to American English. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Thanks again to Mr. Go Big or Go Home. He is just lighting things up over here. My God, I appreciate that. Thank you. Other things. Denny. What's going on in the life of Denny? Denny says he's saying user interface experience design. Get into that tech sector, man. Do that. Make that money. You'll make way more money than I will. Good path to choose. Although I have heard that there is a recession coming, folks. So technically the US is already in a recession. We've had 2 consecutive quarters of shrinking, I think. And that is the definition of a recession. And the U.S. is in a better position than a lot of other countries are. So the tech sector in the U.S. has already done tons and tons of layoffs. And I imagine the situation is probably it's going to get worse before it gets better, probably. So take care of yourselves. I mean, that's part of the reason why we do these live streams too, where, we're trying to give you guys access to free pronunciation resources. I know pronunciation is expensive. I see some teachers, they're charging like $45 for an hour and like $60, $100 for like an hour. And it's like, wow, it's a lot of money. Especially if you're doing that like in US dollars or pounds or euros, that's a lot of money. Not everyone has access to that. So we're trying to make sure you can still improve your pronunciation for free or at minimal. Thanks. Question from Zobeda. Is it rude to say it's a personal preference? No, I don't think it's rude. Just say it a lot. Like it. A lot of times you'll see that like personally, like I don't like it. It's not. You can say like it's not my style. It's not my preference. You don't even really need personal. You can add it, but you don't really need personal because when you say preference, like my preference, it's already assumed that it belongs to you. But no, I don't think it's rude to say that personally. Okay. Other things we talked about. Name this. Cheating is against the rules. Yeah, just don't get caught, right? I'm just kidding. I don't know what do the 5 means. I don't know what that means. for stream for another. Let's see. I have to check. I don't think I actually have an immediate lesson, which is a bit unusual. I was going to work on my next video. But just a heads up, guys, I'm going to do a series. Let me know your thoughts. I want your thoughts on this in the live stream. Let me know your thoughts on this. So I want to do a bunch of short videos, like a bunch of YouTube shorts, like 10 to 15 seconds long, just kind of answering some of YouTube's most commonly asked like English pronunciation questions, like how do you say the months, how do you say days of the week, how do you say certain words. Someone asked me recently, how do you say literally? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think it's a horrible idea? You would unsubscribe from the channel if I started doing that. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm curious to see. Denny's saying, seeing some job opportunities. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you can find a company based in the U.S., I know a lot of tech companies have they're laying, like I said, they're laying off staff or they're taking away some of the perks. But if you could find a remote job in the U.S., I mean, hey, that's make a lot of money. Do pretty okay for yourself if you're into that stuff. All right. People saying they like the idea. I like that you like the idea. Cool. This is what we just did, right?
An apple a day.
Yeah, the manual. Okay, Emmanuel, thanks again for sending that file. Who's next? Ooh, we got a long one here. Let's see what we got.
In this changing world, it's harder than ever to find something extraordinary, but every once in a while, a symbol of hope breaks through.
Okay, Zubeda sending the book. Zubeda's doing audiobooks now, apparently. Okay, Zubeda, I see you. Play that again.
In this changing world, it's harder than ever to find something extraordinary, but every once in a while, a symbol of hope breaks through.
Zubeda, one word. Doesn't it sound familiar? You're putting me on the spot. Maybe. Actually, the more I think about, you're. So you actually did it. That's great. So again, just some reference. If you look at our community tab, I recently posted a poll. Right now, it only has male actors. I'm going to do one for female actors soon. But basically, just asking, hey, whose American English accent would you want to have? And it's basically 4 guys. I think it's like Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, a couple other people. Isabella said Morgan Freeman by far. So now I'm gonna see. Now you're making things difficult for me because now I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna listen to this and be thinking, what would Morgan do? I mean, I always ask myself that question. Whenever I do anything, I always ask myself, what would Morgan do in this situation? But now I'm gonna be doing it even more. Let's see. That's great.
In this changing world,
So the one thing you want to be thinking about is pitches. One word pitches. We're really, really flat. I need more contrast because everything's kind of blending together.
in this changing world,
In this changing world. So you do have stress, so there is some movement going on, but I need more. So you're stressing changing.
in this changing world,
In this changing world. In this changing world.
in this changing world.
Okay. And I'm not, for the moment, I don't have the file, like the original file Morgan's saying this. There's a couple options for this first part. You could stress this, like in this changing world. Or you could stress changing in this changing world. Raise the pitch on changing if you want to stress changing. Lower the pitch on world. Changing world. Changing world. In this changing world. In this changing world. Something like that. I can't get that crack that Morgan has. In this changing world.
In this changing world.
Another thing too, lower your pitch on in. Because it's not in this changing world. It's more in this changing. No, it's a step. In this changing. In this changing. In this changing. So we're just trying to add some contrast here. The next part.
Oh, it's harder than ever.
It's harder than ever. It's harder than ever. It's harder than ever. Okay. You have a couple of choices again with stress. You can stress harder. It's harder than ever in this changing world. It's harder than ever. Or you can stress ever. It's harder than ever in this changing world. It's harder than ever. Notice again, harder than ever. If we stress ever, that move harder than ever. Harder than. So you want that drop, 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 climb, drop. That's probably more accurate. Right? Drop, 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 climb, drop. Harder than ever.
It's harder than ever to find something extraordinary.
To find something extraordinary. Extraordinary is your stress. And right now it's kind of getting lost. You want to emphasize it more. You want to raise that pitch higher.
To find something extraordinary.
To find something extraordinary. You want to reduce find. Don't raise the pitch too high on find. Raise it the most on extraordinary. To find something extraordinary. It's harder than ever to find something extraordinary. To find something extraordinary. Let's see. I really want to raise that pitch on extra.
Ever to find something extraordinary.
It's extraordinary because it's really extraordinary versus extraordinary.
Find something extraordinary. But everyone.
Low note too on extraordinary, that final E sound.
To find something extraordinary.
Do that E, really tense and high on placement there. Extraordinary E versus extraordinary, extraordinary E. So lower, more open in the throat. Extraordinary.
Find something extraordinary. But every once in a while.
But every once in a while. I'd probably stress once. But every once in a while.
Extraordinary. But every once in a while.
And once in a while, every once in a while. I probably wouldn't stress while. I'd stress once. But every once in a while. But every once in a while. I want you to be, again, pay attention to pitches. Where am I going up? Where am I going? Every once in a while. Once in a while. Practice that progression. Once in a while. Once in a while.
Find something extraordinary. But every once in a while, a symbol of hope.
Hope. Can you say O for me? Oh. Let's add a P to that. Can you do O, ope? Again, O, ope. Okay. Can you do that 3 times now? O, ope, O, ope, O, ope. Okay. If you find that you're doing O, ope, O, ope, that's a sign that your O is tensing before your P. Okay. So be careful about that. And then you can add the Osh, like O, ope, hope.
While a symbol of hope breaks.
Hope versus hope again.
Breaks through.
Symbol of hope breaks through. But every once in a while, symbol of hope breaks through. And you have, again, some options on stress here. You can stress hope. Symbol of hope breaks through. Symbol of hope breaks through. Breaks through. You could also stress through. If you don't want to stress hope, you can stress through. Symbol of hope breaks through. Every once in a while, a symbol of hope breaks through. Something like that. Okay? Let's hear this one more time. So I'm going to play yours, then I'll say it how I would done with everything that we just mentioned in mind.
In this changing world, it's harder than ever to find something extraordinary. But every once in a while, a symbol of hope breaks through.
In this changing world, it's harder than ever to find something extraordinary. But every once in a while, a symbol of hope breaks through. Okay, so again, pay attention to those pitches. Try to make it more dynamic. Pay attention to some of those places I identified where your placement gets a little bit tense. Okay? Zubaida, thank you for sending that. I appreciate it. Or should I call you Zubaida Morgan, Zubaida Freeman, however you go by. Okay? I think that really appreciate your file. See some things coming in. Oh, we have a great tip too. I listen to him. He say yawn a lot because it relaxes. It does. I like that advice. Okay. If you find out all those other techniques that we talk about for trying to get things a little bit more open in the throat, yeah, try this. Yeah, yawning might work. Okay. I mean, if you're also trying to find other ways to lower your placement, another, not that I advocate this, but alcohol, getting hungover, those are other ways that you can also lower your placement. When you're hungover, you tend to speak with a lower pitch. When you drink, you tend to lower your pitch a bit as well. But that's only for adults. Be responsible. Okay, Denny, we'll take a look out for your file. And we have a question here. All right, is it Blazy or is it Blasey? But great to see you. Hope to see you in future streams. Thanks for your kind words about the videos. It's hard for me to pronounce words like with TT, like better or matter. You can tense my throat to say it. Is it? It has nothing to do with throat position to a degree. If anything, your throat position is going to change. I mean, your throat position is going to stay the same as always. Open, letting through as much air as possible. That is not going to change. Okay. My guess is that you are making too heavy contact with your tongue and the top of your mouth without hearing you. I have nothing to base this off of. So I'm just kind of assuming it's like a lot of my other students and then kind of giving advice from that space. But the reason why these sounds tend to be difficult for a lot of students is that they are making contact that's too heavy. They're making contact with their tongue and the top of their mouth or their top tooth and things like that. When in reality, so these are your flap T, fast D sounds. Okay, however you call it. Which basically just means you need to raise and lower your tongue very quickly. You don't even need to make contact. So for instance, I could say better, 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 better. Because let's just kind of do that. Let's take off the B. Okay. So can you say like edder, 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 edder. I want you to try saying that with the tip of your tongue pressed against the bottom of your mouth. This is going to be tricky if you've never done this before. It's going to feel weird. And that's okay. A pronunciation class should always feel a little bit weird. Otherwise, we're just doing the same thing we've always done. It's like edder, 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 edder. Okay, and you notice that's not quite the same sounds like edder, edder, edder. Okay, but we're just trying to get used to getting the tongue out of the way a little bit. Okay, it's like edder, edder, edder. That's the sound you're going for. Use more the middle and the mid back of your tongue and raise it and lower it quickly without making contact. Edder, 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 edder. So for instance, a word like better, better, or matter, matter. Okay. If you find that difficult, you can make very light contact with your tongue in the top of your mouth, but I can't emphasize enough. It needs to be light, like better, better, or matter, matter. You are touching the top of your mouth for like a millisecond, and then you're immediately releasing. Okay. But again, that's pretty much how you make those fast D, flap T sounds. It's just really fast, just flapping the tongue up and down very, very fast. Okay. It could also be that the R sound is the issue. So for instance, do you have the same issue when you say a word like little, little, or when you say like data? How about that word? Data, data. Do you find that you have trouble with those words as well? It's like data or little, or do you find it's just for like better, matter? Okay, so I'm wondering if the R sound could be a factor. Let me know in the chat box if you're still here. I'll be happy to take a look at that. Danny, I'll be honest, I have not even heard of this show, but I have no pop culture knowledge, so I do not count. I am not a person. I have no knowledge of these things. Sorry. Is it good? Flap T is favorite sound in American English. I like it. The goal isn't to make your life harder. I know it may not feel that way, but it's actually not trying to make your life hard. It's actually supposed to make your life easier. It's supposed to make transitions, because saying like better, better, that's a lot more contact. You're blocking air. You're disrupting your flow. We want to flow. That's all American English wants to do, man. It just wants to flow. It wants to go with the wave. And your consonants aren't letting you do that. So we weaken them. That's all American English wants to do. It just wants to flow. Cool. So data is actually, when I can say it perfectly. Cool. So that means, so we have a word that you feel pretty comfortable with. Well, you can use that as your model. I'm going off of what you're telling me. So you're telling me that data feels pretty good. Can you try saying data and better and like alternate them 3 times? Like data, better, data, better, data, better. You know, I would do that exercise. Just nonstop. Data, better, data, better, data, better. Or you can even do a sentence. I need better data. I need better data. I need better data. Something like that. But if you have a model, if you have a sound that you like, you think it sounds pretty good, use that to your advantage. record yourself saying data, record yourself saying better, listen to the difference, repeat them, take the audio from this live stream, use that too. Okay. Yeah. I totally get that. Yeah. I like it. I'm biased, but I like it. Kishore checking in. You can call me Jeff. Don't call me mentor or teacher. Just call me Jeff. Is here at midnight, 11:55 p.m. Okay, checking in late. Who are my late night study people? Who are my late night people? Let me know. What time do you guys go to bed? Put me in the chat box. What time do you guys go to bed? I'm curious. How I pronounce the word dog. So I personally would just say it one way. I would just say dog, like an aw sound, like in law. Dog. But for instance, my wife would probably pronounce it more like dog, like an ah, dog. But again, I would use more aw, like dog. Okay. If you find that tricky, just do your vowel sounds first. So like decide which one you like more, the ah sound, dog, or the aw sound, dog. Okay. Start off just with your vowel. Okay. It's like ah, then add the D sound before it. You do like ah, da, and then add the G sound. It's like ah, da, dog, ah, da, dog. And then just like we've been doing, repeat that 3 times really fast. Ah, da, dog, ah, da, dog, ah, da, dog. And just make sure your consonants aren't taking over. And you could do the opposite with the ah sound for the same idea. Okay. Yep, it's funny sitcom. I notice a lot of intonations they use. Great, keep paying attention to that. That's perfect. Yes, that's why sitcoms. That's why cartoons are great. Like TED Talks and interviews and things like that. A lot of times they're talking neutral, but the reality is that hey, when you talk to people on the street and stuff like that, people aren't talking neutral. People are excited. People are angry. People are tired. People have all kinds of emotions going on. So, trying to mirror people talking in different emotions and things like that's pretty important. I like what you're doing, Denny. Look at Denny. Denny's graduating. He's studying shows. Oh man. Sleep at like 5 a.m. Wow. Is Blasey or Blazy? Is this the winner? Does anyone else go to bed this late? Is this our champion?
Question.
Yes, give me a guess. I need a longer water break. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. A standard American accent and an American accent. Good question. A standard American accent is generally perceived to be a kind of Midwestern accent. Okay. An accent that you would hear. The Midwest geographically is interesting because it's not technically the middle of the country, even though it's called Midwest. It's slightly more east than that. Okay. But yeah, accents that you would hear in like Ohio, maybe like Western Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, outside of Chicago though. Chicago doesn't count. Chicago has its own thing. Chicago. If you want like a nice thick American accent, find someone from Chicago. Okay. But so that would be kind of like your quote unquote standard. Whereas an American accent just means an accent from the United States. So for instance, Philadelphia, where I'm from, for instance, a lot of people say like water instead of water, and things like that. A Boston accent, saying like car instead of car. A Valley Girl accent, like in California, where there's a lot of vocal fries. There's a lot of vocal fries. I use a vocal fry like all the time, like things like that. So that's kind of the thing there. Hope that answers your question, Kishore. Thanks for asking. 6 a.m. new champion. Oh man. 2 a.m. I'm guessing a lot of you guys don't have kids. Or at least not like really young kids. Any audios from the singer today? I have not checked our thing. I'm looking up. Maybe. I need to vet it first, but maybe. Great question. Like Southern accents? Yeah, they can be. Depends. Like there's different ones. Like a Southern Texan accent is different than like a Southern Carolina accent and things like that. Um, but yeah, it's kind of tricky too because especially if you go to cities and things like that, a lot of accents they're not necessarily disappearing, but you are seeing a lot of kind of like the distinguishing features from the past are certainly changing. People move around a lot, with the internet and media and things like that. Accents aren't exactly the same as they used to be. Um, they use a Chicago accent. Yeah, I love the sounds of Chicago. It's like Chicago, like it's super distinct. Okay, I think it's time to go back to some audios. If you guys think of some other questions for me, of course, you can send them. Okay. And by the way, if you're just joining the stream for the first time, if anyone here a first timer, first time to the stream, say hey if this is your first time. In the chat, great to say hi to you. But what we do every single live stream, this live stream happens every single Saturday at this time. We listen to your pronunciation files. We listen to your files and we give some suggestions to help you get a more natural sound. Our goal is not to give you just clear, understandable English. That is not our goal. I'm going to be honest with you. If your goal is just to sound understandable, this is not the stream for you. This is the stream for people who are super interested in sounding as natural as possible. Okay? Blasy's new. Hey. Appreciate that honesty. See, we're nice. We're friendly to new people. So we're listening to your pronunciation files and trying to give you the best feedback we can to get you on track for a more natural sound, like you would hear in the US. Okay. Question from Plaza is watching your soundbox, trying to put it so low because I couldn't feel my chest of a whole throat. Okay, it should not be painful. It might be a little painful the first time you experiment with it, but honestly, doing placement, keeping it lower should not be painful. If it starts hurting, that's a sign that you may be forcing it a little bit too much. Okay. You can go too low, like that's way too low. And what often happens too is that when people are lowering it, they're also closing off their throat a lot more, so they're actually engaging a lot of muscles in the throat or even in the chest, and that's causing things to tense up, and that also can be painful. Should not be like that. Okay. So just note. Which dictionary do you use for learning a standard American accent? The website I really like is Wiktionary. I forget if it's .com or .org. I can show you. Question. I always loved. I'm such a nerd. I love talking about dictionaries and stuff. Dum dum dum. Well, honestly, the very first place you should probably look is just Youglish. If you have not used Youglish before, I'm about to blow your mind. Youglish is such a great resource. So you go here, put in US, and then you search whatever word you're looking for. Okay, so for instance, someone earlier was asking about dog. Don't just take my word for things. Listen to other Americans saying dog. Okay. For sake of copyright, I don't want to play these things, but you guys can experiment with Youglish. If you're looking for a more traditional dictionary, which isn't really a traditional dictionary either, but Wiktionary.com, great because it gives you the IPA, but also gives you the received pronunciation too, in case you want to compare it to British, if there's a difference. Look at this. This one has all kinds of files. Okay, so if you type in your word up top, you scroll down, and then you're going to see all the files. Again, you want to make sure you find the US. So like dog. I think I can play this okay.
Dog.
This is probably even more exaggerated, like daw versus daw. But compare that to the merger.
Dog.
Yeah, dog versus dog. Okay. So just a note there. But if this is still not quite what you're looking for, because you want some definitions and things, then my favorite dictionary of all time is Word Reference. Such a great dictionary. You have to be careful with it because it will suck you up. It'll take up all your time. Because if you like languages, it gets super interesting because everything is searchable. I'm just like, oh, now I want to find out about hound. Now I want to find out, a mongrel. Oh my gosh. Find all these things. And then if you can't find what you're looking for up top, you can always, this is the dangerous part, you can go into discussions see all the different forums and see people debating each other and arguing and fighting over different things. Okay. So for instance, I can go down here and see people having whole discussions on things. Yeah, I have to be careful when I go on this website because I lose hours. Blaze also asked, do I have some connection videos? Yes, if you go to my channel and you search linking, youtube.com/fluentamerican. I forget my site. I don't know. So you're really asking about more reductions. That's cool. So probably want to take a look at this one right here. It's like 10-minute reduction exercises and things like that. Okay. And things like that. You could also again look at I have videos on FlapD, FastT. You can just kind of type in, also like if I just type in linking. Here's some videos that I have about linking because that's the best thing I could recommend. That's kind of how I'm doing. I'm good. Things are fine. I can't complain. The weather's nice today. Finally, it's been raining for like a week. But besides that, I can't complain. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it. All right. No, it's taking a minute. All right, let's go back to your pronunciation files. I know that's the big reason why you guys are here. I totally understand. So let's listen to our next audio file here and get some suggestions.
A loyal warrior would rarely worry why we rule.
Okay, so by the way, this is coming from our Telegram group. Our Telegram group, you ask? Well, some quick information about that.
Heal, please.
I think your O sounds are a little bit tense. Take off the T on center.
Okay, so what you see here, this is our Telegram group where basically every single day of the week, what I do is so you guys are not seeing what I need you to see. Let me put myself over here, not over here. Great, here I am. Okay, so this is our Telegram group. And basically every single day of the week, we do kind of like what we do on this live stream. I post some questions and then people can send in audio files and then we listen to them. It's me and another teacher. You can see her here, Lenora. She's great. We listen to you. We give some pronunciation suggestions and feedback. So I asked some people in the Telegram group to say this tongue twister for me, like a loyal warrior will rarely worry why we rule. Not an easy sentence to say. Some people in here put it in here, but then others put it directly into our document. So let's listen to this. Okay. Let's make this smaller for a moment. Okay, so let's listen again.
A loyal warrior would rarely worry why we rule.
Mm-hmm.
A loyal warrior would rarely worry why we rule.
This actually sounds really good. This is not an easy sentence to say.
A loyal warrior.
A loyal warrior. Good. I like that.
A loyal warrior.
I don't really have much to say. I think that sounds fine. A loyal warrior.
A loyal warrior would rarely worry.
Would rarely worry.
Loyal warrior would rarely worry.
Rarely. You could maybe, this is very nitpicky, you can maybe open up that E sound at the end. Rarely.
Warrior would rarely worry why we rule.
Rule. If there's any major thing to look at, it's probably rule.
We rule. Worry why we rule.
Rule. So make sure you're not adding like an E sound slightly to the oo. It's not rue, like rule. It's rule. All sound that dark L. Okay, so lots of breath coming through. Okay, keep that back your tongue slightly high, front of your tongue down. All, ooh, all. So like doing that progression like all, ooh, rule, all, ooh, rule. Doing that progression I think could be really helpful. All, ooh, rule.
Why we rule.
Okay, just to open up a little bit more breath through. But in general, yeah, I think you did a great job with this sentence. I really like it.
A loyal warrior would rarely worry why we rule.
Yeah, so we'll just take a quick second to look at rule, and then would rarely
A
worry.
loyal warrior would rarely worry.
Would rarely worry. I would practice that little sequence there. Would rarely worry. Would rarely worry. Especially on rarely. Just trying to get a little bit more air through. Rarely. Rarely. Okay. So rarely. More rarely.
Warrior would rarely.
Yeah, it's a little tenser there. But Marcos, this sounds really good. Thank you for sending that. I do appreciate it. We have our last file from our original group. Okay. Where are you from? Where are you from, Jeff? Who are you? Where are you from? I am from Philadelphia on the East Coast. If you're not sure where Philadelphia is, it's like it's a city that is about 2 hours south of New York. Driving. It's like an hour and a half by train.
A loyal warrior will rarely worry why we rule.
Okay, so we get the same sentence again.
A loyal warrior will rarely worry why we rule.
Pretty good. Look, he sped it up. So brave.
A loyal warrior.
A loyal warrior. Yeah, a loyal warrior.
A loyal warrior.
I like that. I think it sounds pretty good.
Will rarely worry.
Would rarely worry.
Here. Will rarely worry.
Will rarely. Look, I like that linking between would and rarely.
Warrior. Will rarely.
Do that. Will rarely. Really reducing that D in would. You know, instead of would rarely, more will rarely. And again, in natural English conversations and things like that, that is a reduction I think would be very common. Would rarely.
Will rarely worry why we rule.
Why we rule. Rule. I would try to, very nitpicky again, but I would just try to smooth out that transition from that oo sound to that dark L. Rule. Rule.
Rarely worry why we rule.
It's like rule versus rule. Okay.
Why we rule.
Rule versus rule. Okay, very minor thing, but just try to smooth it out slightly. Okay, but in general, I like that. I think it sounds pretty good. Listen to that one again.
A loyal warrior will rarely worry why we rule.
Okay. It is kind of disjointed, right? Your thought groups are very clearly marked, so there's some clear separations. So I would just say try to smooth that out. But I think the fast version won't have that come up as much.
A loyal warrior will rarely worry why we rule.
Yeah, I like that more.
A loyal warrior will
Sorry.
Rule. A loyal warrior will rarely worry why we rule.
Yeah, I like that. I think Jonas sounds really good. This is not an easy sentence to say, and I thought you did a great job with the R's and the L's and things. Okay, so I was being very nitpicky, but just kind of pay attention to those little things. But nice work. I appreciate it. Okay. Dustin loading as in the stream is loading. Are we crashing? Can you guys hear me okay? Things going crazy? Am I like staticky or anything? Keep me posted. Okay. I need to check and see our extra files. Okay, no, Dustin sent us a file. So give me a moment, guys. I'm going to be just going to be looking at files, scouting them, make sure that they are appropriate for you. Okay, Dustin, I got yours. Checking out Denny's right now. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know the stream is okay. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Cool. Okay. Next one. Okay. We got you. Mima, second one. I think try squeeze it in. Okay, just a note, Mimo, for your sentence. You don't need the you can just say it's not rocket science. You don't need the phrase. It's not rocket science. Just a note. Show. I like Shoke's sentence. Okay. And there's last two I need to check. All right. Fortunately, I think I'm going to have to close this submission feed, so we'll have to finish up with these files that I have. But again, in the future, if you're just joining us and you want to send a file, if you're watching this in the future in the replay, and you're like, hey, this is cool, I want to get my own pronunciation analyzed. Again, keep the document, save it, favorite it, so that way we can see it next time. Okay? Because we use it every single live stream. All right, let me share everything once more. So we do our last round. There we go. I'll put myself over here. Okay, we do have a quick question. Your mouth when you talks help, right? It feels to feel continuous way because I'm mixing and talk from cheek. Got you. You know, and Dustin making a similar comment. You know, I'll be honest. I have a video. How do I put this? Look, you can certainly open up your mouth more, but I have a video that demonstrates why placement is always going to be more important than mouth position. And in this video, basically, I do this. I pronounce different vowel sounds, and I want you to really watch my lips. Okay, I'll show you what that video was like. Okay, it's like o, e, a, u, oi, r. What do you notice about my lips? A, e, o, u, r, u, oi. What do you notice about my lips? It's not super open, right? They're not even really moving that much. But I'm able to get these vowels across because my throat is so open. You know, so the issue isn't necessarily how wide your mouth is. The issue is that second part, what you're saying. You're saying you talk from your cheeks. What that means is that your placement's really high. You're talking like from like up here, when in reality, you want to be talking from like down here. Okay? And you want to be talking with your throat very open. Those are the key things to getting a more natural sound. Trying to lower your placement and trying to open up your throat more. Those are going to be the ways to achieve a more natural sound, not opening your mouth wider. Okay. Yeah. So those are going to be key. Yeah, because like you said, it feels very closed up. Okay. Going back to your files, we're going to try to get through these as fast as we can. Kind of a lightning round. I liked your first half. The second half started getting a lot choppier. That part there. What do you think? Great. Like your reductions, like your linking. That sounds good. A little bit high placement on think. Is it think? More think. Think. You can lower your placement there. Open up your throat a little bit more. What do you think? What do you think? Oh, no. I forgot to share. Oh, no. Shared the wrong thing. Everyone's begging me. Jeff, please share the audio. Please. For the love of God.
What do you think is the most important?
What do you think is the most? What do you think is the most? The issue here is going to be placement. In terms of like the rhythm and things like that, I think you're doing all the right things, but your placement is super high.
What do you think is the most?
What do you think is the most? What do you think is the most? What do you think is the most? Hear the difference. What do you think is the most? What do you think is the most? It's all placement.
What do you think is the most important thing for you right now?
And then that second half gets a lot choppier. Important thing for you right now.
Important thing for you.
Important thing versus important thing. Keep that to run together a little bit more. Important thing. Important thing. What do you think is the most important thing? Important thing. Run that together more. It's an important thing. Important thing.
Important thing for you right.
Also watch your placement again for thing. You're giving me an E sound instead of an I sound. So you're saying thing versus thing. So I did that short I sound a little bit. Okay, thing.
Important thing for you right now.
For you right now. For you right now. Versus for you right now. For you right now. What do you think is the most important thing for you right now? What do you think is the most important thing for you right now? You could have reduced those last 4 words. For you right now. For you right now. I'll just try to say that. For you right now. For you right now. For you right now. Okay. Really open. Nothing stressed. Pitch drop, 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 drop. For you right now. For you right now. For you right now.
What do you think is the most important thing for you right now?
So again, what I'm hearing is like, what do you think is the most important thing for you right now? Versus the way I would say that. What do you think is the most important thing for you right now? Okay. A lot of that's just placement, opening up the throat more, lowering it, and paying attention to some of those vowel things I identified. Okay. It is not hella choppy. It's choppier than mine because your consonant sounds are stronger and you're ending your words and cutting off the breath. Let the breath flow from one word to the next. It'll help things flow more. Connect your vowels. Okay. Dustin, those are going to be my big suggestions. Thank you for sending that file. Trying to get through these last ones, so I'm moving a little bit faster than normal, but I think you have an idea what to review. My next one.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies.
Time flies when.
Time flies. Time flies. I can hear you going for the lower placement, Denny.
Time flies.
Time flies. But what's happening is the throat's really constricted. So it's I versus I. No, it's just open up that throat more. Just how much it changes the quality of the sound, right? So it's not I, more I. Time flies. Time flies. And typically you would stress flies. Lower your pitch on time. Time flies. Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun.
When you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. When you're having, watch that progression there. Like when you're having, lower those pitches. Try to link that more. When you're having fun. When you're having fun, raise the pitch on fun and then fall. Fun. When you're having fun. Okay, that sort of progression I think will be really helpful. Time flies when you're having fun. When you're having fun. So you could have a falling intonation there on fun, or you could have like a slight rise at the end. Time flies when you're having fun. Fun. Okay, fun. Time flies when you're having fun. Something like that.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Because like fun is like fun. Raise that pitch at the start of fun because it's starting too low when you're having fun versus when you're having fun. Guess let's start higher on fun.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Okay. So those are going to be the big things there. Denny, I'm sorry. I know that's super fast, but I think that kind of touches on all the main things I would look at. Okay. Thanks for the FA. Next up.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
Oh my gosh, what just happened? Whoa, that was super fast.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
What you think?
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
Dustin, is this you again?
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
Oh, that's not one. Oh, this is everyone's saying the same thing. Okay, this is Ahmed, I think, if you're still here.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
I feel like we dropped something.
What do you think the most important thing for you?
Where's the verb to be? You just ate it. It's gone.
What do you think the most?
What you think the most? What you think the most? Usually, what you think the most? Think the most. What you think is the most? You need the is. What you think's the most? What you think is the most? What you think is the most? What you think? What you think is the most? What you think the most? Yeah, I'm just not hearing that is.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
Okay, so add the verb to be back in. You can't take it off. Not in this. There are other situations where you can, but not here. Is this is your main verb? When when the verb to be is your main verb in your independent clause, you can't remove it. When it's an auxiliary verb, then we can have that discussion. But in this case, you need it.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now? What do you think the most?
What do you think? Watch out for the short I on think, because you're giving me think versus thank, short I.
What do you think the most?
Think, thank, hear a difference.
What do you think the most important thing?
Most very tight. Most.
Think the most important.
Most versus most. O sound. Can you say most 3 times? Most. The vowel needs to be the dominant part. And right now, the vowel is probably the weakest part. The M and the ST is kind of taking over.
Think the most important.
The most. I don't even hear the O almost. The most versus the most. Which think's the most? What do you think is the most? What do you think is the most? It's the most versus the most
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
important. You're eating your vowel sounds. They're just disappearing. Your consonants are just like yum yum yum. They're eating all of your you're eating all of your vowels. And that is causing your whole word to kind of shut down and get really tense and tight.
What do you think the most important thing for you?
Important versus important. Important. The most important sound in important is the or. Important. Important. So really try to strengthen that or. Can you do like or, poor, important? Or, poor, important. Try to really get that or sound stronger.
The most important thing for you right now.
Thing for you right now.
The most important thing for you right now.
Okay, the very last thing I want to highlight is just stress.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
What do you think the most important thing for you right now? What are you stressing?
What do you think the most important thing for you right now? What do you think the most?
So you're stressing think. What you think?
What do you think?
What you think? What do you think? You know, in terms of progression, it'd probably be more. What do you think? What you think? So you're stressing the right word, but lower the pitch on the other thing. What you think? What you think? What do you think? What do you think?
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
What do you think is the most important thing for you right now? What do you think is the most important thing for you right now? What do you think is the most important thing for you? So I'd also probably stress thing. What do you think is the most important thing for you right now? And then also now.
What do you think the most important thing for you right now?
Right now.
For you right now.
Right now. And then you are stressing now, but pay attention to some of those stresses in the rhythm. Okay. Unfortunately, I do need to move on, but I hope that gives you some things to kind of identify to work on. If you only have time to study one thing this week, study opening up your vowel sounds and getting them to be the more dominant sound with some of those exercises that we did, like or, poor, important, or, poor, important. Okay. You can do that with any word. Try to strengthen those vowels and weaken those consonants. We had a quick question here. Replacement video is really complicated to me because I don't know if I'm lowering my pitch or my sound box. Any tips? Which placement video in particular? I have kind of a lot. Yeah, but go to my. So I have a series of playlists that says "Work Out Your American English Pronunciation." Okay, and there's one video that talks about pitch, and there's another video that talks about placement on there, and they're related. You know, they are kind of tied together to a degree. So by doing one, you may be doing the other, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. What I would say is pay attention to all the things the advice I'm giving to people and listening. Okay. Trying to apply it to your own speech and those own suggestions. You know, earlier we did exercises with vowels and things like that. Pay attention to those and try to replicate them on your own. Those would really be my big suggestions. You could do exercises like scales and things like that. So for instance, doing like an E sound, do like start high and lower it, like E, 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 E. And then you can bring it back up. E, 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 E. Okay, so like doing exercise like that. You can connect them like E. So just kind of feeling what it's like when you send things high versus when you send things low. The other thing that's also key is especially breath. You know, it's not just about placement, it's also about breath. Make sure enough air is coming through. If you go to my channel, again, search breath exercises. I have videos that are related to just adding more breath to your sound. You know, these are the things that I think are really key. Okay, lots of breath. Those would be my real big suggestions right now. Thank you for the question.
It's not a rocket science. It's not a rocket science.
Not rocket. It's not a rocket science.
It's not a rocket science. It's not a rocket science.
It's not a rocket science. It's not rocket science. I think you're stressing the right word.
It's not a rocket science. It's not a rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science.
It's not a.
It's not a. It's not a. It's not a.
It's not a rocket.
It's not a. It's not a. I would take off your stress on not. It's not rocket science. I would only stress rocket. Lower your pitch on not.
It's not a rocket science.
It's not rocket science.
It's not a rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Because I think it's going to make it sound more punchy. Because it's a short phrase, relatively common one. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Okay. Rocket should be the only word that really stands out. It's not rocket science.
It's not a rocket science.
Reduce science as well, because you're going to rocket science versus rocket science. Lower your pitch on science. It's too high. So it's almost making it sound stressed too.
Rocket science. It's not a rocket science.
Rocket science. Do you hear that? Like rocket science versus rocket science. Do down. Rocket science. Down. Okay. That's going to help stand that out more and not give you that almost stress on science. Okay. And like I said earlier too, don't use the is this, you don't need the article. Okay. I think you have the right idea. You're stressing rocket, which is great. We just want to make it stand out more. Okay. Last couple files.
You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
Catch more flies with honey.
You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
Very dramatic way of doing this.
You can catch more flies.
Can you say this? You can catch. Notice how it kind of all just joins together. You can catch. I'm not even saying like you can. I'm saying like you can catch. Okay, so just a note there. You can catch. If you want some reductions, that's something you could do. You could say you can catch. There's nothing wrong with that. Just something to consider. Take care, Danny. A presto. Ci sentiamo, okay?
You can catch more flies with honey.
Catch more flies with honey. You can catch more flies with honey.
You can catch more flies with honey than
honey. It's a honey. More honey.
Flies with honey than
honey. Catch more flies with honey. I would commit more to the intonation. I would either use rising. You can catch more flies with honey. You can catch more flies with honey.
More flies with honey.
I'd also consider cutting off. It's not wrong to have the stress also on more. So you're kind of doing more thought groups. But for the sake of practice, I would cut down on some of your thought groups just to get the sentences to flow a little bit more. You can catch more flies with honey. Okay, so cut off that stress on honey. On more. You can catch more flies with honey.
You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
I like that. Then you can with. That's a great progression. Then you can with.
Can with vinegar.
Vinegar. Then you can with vinegar.
With vinegar.
I like how you're saying vinegar. I like the short I. I like the R at the end. Nice work.
And you can with vinegar.
You could weaken your N. It's not vinegar. Or vinegar. Vinegar. Can you say vinegar with the tip of your tongue down the entire time? Vinegar. Okay, just for practice to try to get the vowels to stand out more. Vinegar.
You can catch more flies with honey.
More flies with honey.
Than you can with vinegar.
Than you can with vinegar. Okay, so kind of just paying attention to some of those things there. It's going to help link it a little bit more, join it together. Just the rhythm and things. Okay, let's keep those things in mind, Shok. I'm sorry I can't spend more time on it. Unfortunately, I do have to run. But last two audios. Home stretch, guys. Each is 15. Okay.
Again, it's not E, it's E. It's not lay, it's Lee. It's not it's ah. So yeah, those are some things you want to watch out for when you're practicing American English. By the way, my name is Jeff.
That's great. And all true points. Listen to all those. It's not E, it's E. Good.
You sure send more files to shove 10 minutes-ish. But in the meantime, I'd like to perform a song for you.
Oh, I can sing now.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so foreign. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Come on, Jeff.
That's great. Thank you to the singer. A great work, as always. Woo, okay, we have listened to a huge variety of different sentences and things like that. Hopefully, even if we didn't listen to your pronunciation files, you were still able to take some of these points that we mentioned and apply them to your own speech, including those exercises that we recommended. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I know it's a Saturday in the summer. And not only that, there are millions of American English pronunciation resources out there. So the fact that you spend a little bit of your time with me is super meaningful. So I do appreciate that because I know there are many, many different opportunities. Okay. I want to give just another quick shout out to Mr. Go Big or Go Home for all of the wonderful donations that he did today. That was super, super appreciated. Okay. All right. As I said, take a look at the document. That document we use every single live stream. So we will be back Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. East Coast time in the United States, EST, New York time. Okay. So we'll be back next week looking at more of your pronunciation files and things. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you guys have a good day, have a good night, have a good afternoon. Keep an eye out for our video coming out tomorrow. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.